company. In the show, the protagonist, Robert, the single friend of 5 married couples, has been avoiding the issue of marriage most of his adult life after seeing how messed up most of his friends appear to be who are married. Now that song, the song that Being Alive replaced, was called Happily Ever After. It went someone to need you too much, someone to know you too well, which is very similar to what we just heard. Someone to bleed you of all the things you don't want to tell. That's happily ever after in hell. That was thought to be kind of negative. So, Son and I went back to the drawing board and came up with that beautiful song. Being Alive reveals the painful and frightening process of admitting our vulnerability. And that's why Being Alive works so well. It's about being vulnerable, being open to love, being open to life, which is something we can all understand how scary it is to do that. Because a lot of us have done that, and sometimes it didn't turn out as well as we'd hoped. Somebody crowded me with love. Somebody forced me to care. Somebody let me come through. I'll always be there as frightened as you of being alive. In The Gifts of Imperfection, Brene Brown writes, we cultivate love when we allow our most vulnerable and powerful selves to be deeply seen and known, and when we honor the spiritual connection that grows from that offering of trust, respect, kindness, and affection. What's the disco show going on with the lights here? Yeah. Is James up there? Okay, carry on. Love is not something we give or get, it's something we nurture and grow. A connection that can only be cultivated between two people when it exists within each one of them. We can only love others as much as we can love ourselves. Shame, blame, disrespect, betrayal, and withholding of affection damages the roots from which love grows. Love can only survive these injuries if they are acknowledged and healed. As that great metaphysician Cole Porter said, what is this thing called love? This funny thing called love. You took my heart and you threw it away. That's why I asked the Lord above in heaven, what is this thing called love? God. It seems we're a bit confused about love. The dictionary says that love is a feeling of strong affection, a great interest and pleasure in something, a person or thing that one loves. That's it. That's what we get so worked up about. It's hardly anything. That's the way I feel about Downton Abbey. And dark chocolate. Romeo, Romeo, I have great interest in you, Romeo. And Juliet, you too, a great pleasure indeed. Yeah. No, it's not enough. It's not good enough. St. Paul, in his letter to the Corinthians, wrote, love is patient, love is kind, love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude, love never ends. Now faith, hope, and love abide, but the greatest of these is love. That's beautiful. But it doesn't tell us what love is. It gives us attributes of love. It shares what it looks like, maybe, or what it seems like. You see, it's not easy to define love, is it? What is this thing, as Cole said? Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore came closer when he said that love is the unending, eternal principle of all life. It's the divine glue that holds everything together. Wow, that's impressive. But what's love? We still haven't heard what this is exactly. Here's what love is for me. I've been doing some really deep meditation this week since I was on the couch all week. Except for taking the dog out. I would go back to the couch and think about love. Because I knew we would be here today. But God, what is this thing called love? What I heard was every thought, word, feeling, and action that reflects my full awareness that I'm divine is what love is. The full awareness that you are divine is what love is. that all there is God's creation, is the love of God revealing itself. The pure energy that creates me every single moment is love in action. The awareness of the divine intention that I had to create my life is love pushing me forward to do this work. My goal as a creation of divine love, and we all are simply the expression of this wonderful love, is to infuse everything I do, everything I say, everything I think, and my every intention with this creative energy. For my healing, and for yours as well. So not only do I infuse this love and let it consciously move forward for my life, but also for yours. If I'm not here for you, I can't be here for me, and vice versa. Truly, love is all that there is because God is all that there is. At the end of the New Testament, we read, God is love, period. No footnotes, no explanations. God is love. Love is God. They're interchangeable. It's difficult to define because it is the beginning, the middle, and the end of everything. The Alpha and the Omega, as it says in Scripture. I've shared with you that a prominent healer in Kansas City told a Unity minister the only thing she did in her successful healing practice, and it was over 90% successful, was to love her clients. That's it. She said, I just love them. They come through the door, I give them tea, I hear them talk, I pray with them, we affirm together, I hug them, and love heals. That's it. What Robert is asking in being alive is for someone to hold that truth with him. To know that I am lovable and that I am worth it. And that's scary. To even open ourselves up to that thought. To say, I see you just for who you are, just for what you are, and it's good. You're good. And that's all we need to know. Nothing else, not how much money you make, not how tall, nothing. But I see you for the wonderful God being that you are. To be in love is to be the authentic you. To be in the flow of life means that I am authentically being this warts and all, vulnerability, all showing, and being open and receptive to the universe and all the good in it. And what the universe wants you to know is that you deserve love. You deserve friendship. You deserve success. You deserve abundance. You deserve to be healed. You deserve to be at peace. You deserve happiness. You deserve to be free from addiction, whatever that addiction may be. You deserve to have a mate who loves you unconditionally just because you are you. And you're more than enough. More than enough. You're God. You're God showing up. Someone once said, a friend is someone who sees you just as you are and loves you anyway. Warts and all. You're more than enough, and if a person in your life doesn't act like that and doesn't see who you are, perhaps they should not be in your life in that way. If they're not seeing the God you, they're not seeing you. Now, we may not be acting like we're divine always. In fact, we don't. None of us. But that's an unfolding process that we're on, so you have to give yourself a break. We all need to give ourselves a break here. You're a baby God growing into the realization of who you are. That's all. You're a baby God coming to know your power. You remember the story of the woman who went to Weight Watchers, and when the counselor asked her what her life would look like after she lost all the weight, she said, I'll lose my husband, my friends will hate me, and everything I have in life will be over. The counselor said, it doesn't have to be that bad. And the woman said, oh no, these are the good things that will happen. This is a happy thing. So if all these are the result of my having love in my life, of the good finally showing up for me, how do I let it happen? How does this actually work? I've been waiting for this to work. So tell me, how does this happen? What do I need to do to let it finally take hold? The scripture we heard a few minutes ago that John shared with us has a really powerful message about how love works for all of us. So Jesus is he's having dinner with a spiritual leader, a Pharisee, and a woman comes in who, as Hollywood used to call it, was a woman with a past. Jar of oil and a jar of ointment, ready to go. Let me rephrase that. So the Pharisee is thinking, well, if Jesus was so smart, he'd know who this woman was who was touching him and making him impure. He was just beside himself. Jesus knew what he was thinking and said, you didn't welcome me half as well as she has. She's making me feel at home. But because of the great love she has shown for me, she is forgiven for her past mistakes. He said to the woman, your faith has healed you. Go in peace. Now the word in the Bible we read in English is saved. Your faith has saved you. Saved does not mean saved from hell. That wasn't even a concept Jesus was talking about. It means healed, as in healing salve. Salvation means the healing love poured through us that reveals the truth of God's presence. So salvation is not pulling you from the brink of hell. It's to move this wonderful energy of healing love through us. And that's what happened with the woman. So for our great teacher, the fullness of love is activated in our lives when forgiveness is called forth. The woman and her love for Jesus healed herself. She let the love flow, and that love healed her life as well. So forgiveness is one of the highest forms of love that we have available to us on the planet. Forgiveness is love full throttle opened. Forgiveness is the love with all the chains thrown off, no holds barred, fully flowing in our lives, through us, through every part of us, and miraculous in its manifestations. The biggest block to my activation of love is non-forgiveness. If you want love to flow, you've got to forgive. There's no way around it. I've looked. I've tried. It doesn't work. I'm a double Scorpio. Non-forgiveness is something I do really well. Revenge is my middle name. It's what Scorpios do. With a Leo rising. Like, I know. I wear myself out sometimes. But I had to learn to forgive. I had to learn how to do this work. Forgiveness is the realization that nobody can take my good away or block love in my life. That's the realization we come to when we say, I forgive you. We open up everything for God to flow. No matter what they did, no matter what you say, well, that is unforgivable. There is nothing unforgivable in God. Forgiveness of others may be difficult. Well, please. Not may be, is really, really difficult. Especially if they've warped your sense of worth and your own view of yourself. But the greatest secret of forgiveness is that by letting them go, you win. You win when you let them go. It's the greatest revenge ever. I tell you that as a double Scorpio. It works. All of a sudden, I'm healed. Forgiveness isn't condoning, it's empowering you to rewrite the script they gave you and that you accepted. They give us a script, we so willingly play the part that's assigned to us. I get to recast my life by forgiving. I get to rewrite my life journey by letting go. My abusive stepmother is now someone that I recognize as a mentally ill person who abused me for a couple of years, who didn't know any better because she was mentally ill. Your alcoholic father is now, as you forgive, the man who was so scared that he had to try to kill off what he saw as love in you, as innocence in you, because he didn't like it in himself. Had nothing to do with you. And forgiveness reveals that truth so clearly. Your cheating spouse is now the person who didn't see how amazing you are because they didn't realize how amazing they were. They had no idea how to really love you or themselves. They didn't trust it. Forgiveness is a form of love that reveals the truth about every situation that hurt you. I'm going to share that again. We all need to really get this. Forgiveness is the form of love that reveals the truth about every situation that has hurt you. We look back at our lives and say, this was the journey I went through and it had nothing to do with me. I happened to be there. I was hurt by it, but not permanently. They hurt my body. They hurt my feelings. They may have warped a mental picture that I have, but they did not hurt the core God, me, ever. Nobody can reach that. Nobody can reach that. Only you. Only you. The most important person to forgive is you. The most important person to forgive is you. You are blameless. Even though you messed up big time. We all do. We all do. If you're on the planet, you're going to mess up. Okay? You're innocent even though you ruined that good that you had. We all have. We've all ruined some really good things. Okay? You were so loved by the universe when everybody else thought you were a jerk. Even me. But you were still loved by what created you. And always will. Always have been and always will be. So what? You screwed up. Okay. That's life on earth. Get over it. What did you learn from it? Say, okay, I got the lesson, and move on. And move on. Get on with loving yourself because God certainly does. No matter what you did, there is nothing unforgivable. Nothing. People often ask me, does God love me? The answer, the old metaphysical answer is, no, God doesn't love you, God is love, blah, 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 blah. Though I know that's true, I always hated that answer because it never felt right. Well, God is principle, oh, shut up. That's not what I need to hear right now. So the answer is yes, God loves you. May not work in the same way, but yes, the universe absolutely loves and adores you because you are that creation of spirit. God, the universe, life, whatever word works for you, though, can only do for us what we allow God to move through us. The energy we allow to move into our world from within is the amount of love I'm letting out. Grace is the love of God that moves through us in spite of everything we do to keep it out, to keep it back. Thank God for grace. But we have to give Spirit permission to move the big stuff through us. Your career, love, a mate, whatever it might be, you've got to get clear within yourself that you deserve this. To let it come forth. How, again, is not up to you, but just saying, yeah, thank you, God, do it. Whatever I need to do, let me know. Let me hear it. Let me intuit it. And then move forward. We give permission by knowing and by decreeing the good powerfully and clearly what it is we're looking for. I deserve success because I love and I am loved. That's all. I deserve healing because I am a creation of life and I am in that divine flow. I deserve a great person in my life because I'm wonderful. Period. You don't have to explain yourself to anybody. Just be that which you are. I deserve a good life because I am God's creation. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's it. I deserve a good life, period. You deserve to have a good, healthy, creative, prosperous, interesting, and happy life because you do. Period. You deserve good. There's no argument. You don't have to explain yourself. In this country, we often feel we have to explain ourselves, that I earned it somehow. You don't have to earn your good. You have your good. It's already here. You just have to say yes to it. Yes, I accept. I love myself enough to accept all the good available in and through me right now. You are created out of love, and in love, your life works. When you take yourself out of the love flow, life doesn't work. So if a part of your life isn't working right now, go within this afternoon when you leave here and ask, why have I taken myself out of love? That's all. I've just taken myself out of the flow of maybe finding a mate, or finding the career that I love, or finding the healing that I know is mine. Have I been calling my body bad? Have I been saying, oh, you're so sick you'll never get well? Do like Myrtle Fillmore did. Go within and say, I forgive you. Forgive me, lungs, for calling you weak. You are strong and whole. However long it takes to keep knowing and powerfully decreeing the truth, you do. You deserve to have a living wage, more than enough. Why? Because you're in the flow of life already. Put yourself back in love and watch it happen. Take a breath.